Okay, so that concludes this module. We learned about variables, right, which are essentially locations in memory. Okay, so these are variables are in locations in memory. And when I say memory, I mean the computer's RAM, random access memory. So a variable is a location or a space in memory that store data. That's it, right? So your memory is divided into small sections. Each section is a byte, right? Let's say 1 byte. If you have 4 GB of RAM, right? 4 GB of RAM, essentially you have 4 billion bytes, which means you have 4 billion of these locations, right? So when you create a variable, right? When you create a variable, let's say a equals 5. Now a takes 4 bytes. Okay, int take 4 bytes. So what happens is the computer allocates or reserves 4 bytes of space for you, for that variable a. Okay. Now these 4 bytes would be called a, and the location, these 4 bytes in RAM would store the value 5. Okay. Now we also learned that variables have types, right? Variables have types. The types that we have learned so far are uh, integer, right? Floating points, boolean, and string. Okay. uh, we have also learned about operations. Okay. So integers, floating points, and booleans, they allow the common operations that you can do on numbers, which is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Apart from that, it also does exponentiation, which is 2 stars. It does negation, which is again minus. uh, it does integer division and remainder. And string only allows two operations, which is addition, which is the plus, and concatenation, which is the star. Okay. Finally, expressions are nothing but a valid combination of one of these operators, right? Now you must know what valid means, right? You must know what valid means. I give you an example of an invalid operation. An invalid operation would be hello plus true, right? Or hello times hi. These are invalid operations, right? So the operation doesn't have to make sense, but they have to be valid. Okay. So an expression is a combination of these valid operations on variables or literals, right? So variables such as a, b, c, or literals such as 5, 3.14, true, jack, and so on and so forth. Okay. We also learned a few things about naming variables. Okay. And the general idea is it must start with a letter or underscore, and then from then on it can have any combination of letters, numbers, or underscores.